Shalom, my friends. I want to share with you today a secret that has made me millions. A secret that has protected me through every storm, every criticism, every setback I've ever faced. This is not just a business strategy. This is not just a mindset hack. This is ancient wisdom from the Torah. Wisdom that has sustained the Jewish people through thousands of years of persecution, exile, and adversity. And when you master this principle, nothing and no one will ever have power over you again. The secret is this: learn to act as if nothing bothers you. Now, before you dismiss this as some kind of stoic philosophy or emotional suppression, let me be clear. This is not about pretending you don't have feelings. This is not about becoming cold or indifferent. This is about mastering your emotional state so that external circumstances cannot control you. This is about developing an unshakable inner peace that allows you to move through the world with power, with presence, with absolute confidence. Because here's the truth. If every little comment, every small setback, every criticism gets under your skin, you are giving away your power. You are allowing other people and external circumstances to control your emotional state, your decisions, your destiny. And that is no way to live. That is no way to build wealth. That is no way to create a life of meaning and impact. The most successful people I know, the wealthiest people I know, the most influential people I know, they all have one thing in common. They are unshakable. They don't react impulsively to every slight, every criticism, every obstacle. They move through life with an air of control, as if they know something the rest of the world doesn't. And you know what? They do. They know that true power comes not from dominating others, but from mastering yourself. Let me tell you a story that illustrates this principle perfectly. There was a man named Shimon. Shimon was a successful businessman in my community. He had built a thriving company from nothing, employing dozens of people, providing for his family, giving generously to charity. But Shimon had one weakness. He cared too much about what people thought. Every time someone criticized him, he would lose sleep. Every time a deal fell through, he would spiral into anxiety. Every time someone questioned his decisions, he would second-guess himself. And one day, a competitor started spreading rumors about him, false rumors, lies designed to damage his reputation and steal his clients. And Shimon was devastated. He was angry. He was hurt. He wanted to fight back, to defend himself, to prove the rumors wrong. He came to me, furious, ready to wage war. And I said to him, "Shimon, do you remember the story of Joseph in the Torah?" He looked at me confused. "Rabbi, what does Joseph have to do with this?" I said, "Everything. Let me tell you." Joseph was the favorite son of Jacob. His brothers hated him for it. They were jealous of his dreams, his gifts, his father's love. So what did they do? They threw him into a pit. They sold him into slavery. They told their father he was dead. And Joseph, at 17 years old, found himself alone in a foreign land, enslaved, with every reason to be bitter, angry, and broken. But Joseph didn't react. He didn't lash out. He didn't complain. He didn't let his circumstances control his emotional state. Instead, he did something remarkable. He acted as if nothing bothered him. He served his master faithfully. He worked with excellence. He remained calm, composed, focused. And because of this, he found favor. He was promoted. He was given responsibility. He was trusted. And then, just when things were going well, he was falsely accused of a crime he didn't commit. He was thrown into prison. Again, he had every reason to be angry, to be bitter, to give up. But he didn't. He acted as if nothing bothered him. He served in prison with the same excellence, the same calm, the same unshakable spirit. And because of this, he was eventually elevated to the second most powerful position in Egypt. The very brothers who betrayed him, who sold him into slavery, eventually came to him begging for food during a famine. And Joseph had the power to destroy them. He could have taken revenge. He could have let his emotions control him. But he didn't. He acted as if nothing bothered him. He forgave them. He provided for them. He saw the bigger picture. This is the power of emotional mastery. This is the power of acting as if nothing bothers you. Joseph didn't suppress his emotions. He felt the pain, the betrayal, the injustice. But he didn't let those emotions control him. He remained focused on his purpose, on his character, on his destiny. And because of this, he became one of the most powerful and influential men in the world. I told Shimon this story, and I said, "The rumors your competitor is spreading, they are like Joseph's brothers throwing him into the pit. You have a choice. You can react emotionally. You can fight back. You can let this consume you. Or you can act as if nothing bothers you. You can stay focused on your work, on your clients, on your excellence. You can let your character speak for itself. And in the end, the truth will prevail, and you will rise even higher." Shimon took my advice. He didn't respond to the rumors. He didn't defend himself. He didn't engage in the drama. He simply kept working, kept serving his clients, kept being excellent. And you know what happened? Within 6 months, the rumors died out. The competitor who spread them lost credibility. And Shimon's business grew stronger than ever. Because people saw his character. They saw his calm. They saw his unshakable confidence. And they trusted him even more. This is the power of acting as if nothing bothers you. This is the power of emotional mastery. In the Torah, in the book of Proverbs, King Solomon, the wisest and wealthiest man who ever lived, writes, "A fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control." This is not just good advice. This is a principle of wealth building, of leadership, of success. When you control your emotions, you control your destiny. When you react impulsively, you give away your power. So, how do you develop this level of emotional mastery? How do you train yourself to act as if nothing bothers you? Let me give you 7 principles from the Torah that will transform your life. Principle number 1. Understand that your emotions are not facts. Just because you feel angry doesn't mean you need to act on that anger. Just because you feel hurt doesn't mean you need to lash out. Just because you feel anxious doesn't mean you need to panic. Your emotions are signals, not commands. They give you information, but they don't control you unless you let them. In the Talmud there is a teaching. Who is strong? He who controls his impulses. True strength is not physical. True strength is emotional. It's the ability to feel an emotion and choose not to react to it. It's the ability to pause, to assess, to respond with intention rather than impulse. Principle number 2. Detach your identity from external circumstances. You are not your business. You are not your bank account. You are not what people say about you. You are a soul, created in the image of God, with infinite worth and potential. When you understand this, when you root your identity in something deeper than external success or approval, nothing can shake you. Joseph understood this. He was a slave, but he didn't identify as a slave. He was a prisoner, but he didn't identify as a prisoner. He knew who he was at his core, and no external circumstance could change that. This is the key to unshakable confidence. Principle number 3. Practice the pause. The next time something bothers you, before you react, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, does this situation truly affect my long-term goals? Is my reaction necessary, or am I giving away my power? More often than not, the answer will be that the situation is not worth your energy. By choosing not to react, you take away its power over you. In the Torah, Moses is described as the most humble man who ever lived, and yet he was also one of the most powerful leaders in history. How? Because he didn't react impulsively. When the Israelites complained, when they rebelled, when they doubted him, he didn't lash out. He paused. He consulted with God. He responded with wisdom, not emotion. This is the power of the pause. Principle number 4. Focus on what you can control. You cannot control what people say about you. You cannot control whether a deal goes through or falls apart. You cannot control the economy, the market, or other people's decisions. But you can control your response. You can control your effort. You can control your character. When you focus on what you can control, you stop wasting energy on what you can't. In the book of Ecclesiastes, King Solomon writes, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." This teaches us that life has rhythms, ups and downs, seasons of success and seasons of challenge. When you understand this, you stop reacting emotionally to every change. You accept that some things are beyond your control, and you focus on what is within your power. Principle number 5. Visualize yourself as unshakable. Every morning, before you start your day, close your eyes and see yourself moving through the day with calm, with confidence, with unshakable peace. See yourself receiving criticism and smiling. See yourself facing a setback and remaining composed. See yourself in a conflict and choosing not to react. When you visualize this repeatedly, it becomes your reality. Your mind doesn't know the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. So program your mind for emotional mastery. Principle number 6. Develop a clear purpose. When you have a strong vision for your life, when you know your purpose, petty distractions no longer shake you. Your focus becomes unbreakable because you understand that your energy is too valuable to waste on things that don't serve you. Joseph had a purpose. He knew he was destined for greatness. He knew his dreams would come true. And because of this, he didn't let temporary setbacks derail him. Ask yourself, what is my purpose? What am I building? What legacy am I creating? When you have clear answers to these questions, you become immune to the noise of the world. Principle number 7. Practice gratitude in the midst of adversity. This is perhaps the most powerful principle of all. When something bothers you, when you face a challenge, when you experience a setback, instead of complaining, instead of reacting, say thank you. Thank you, God, for this lesson. Thank you for this opportunity to grow. Thank you for this test that will make me stronger. In the Torah, we are commanded to bless God in times of difficulty, just as we bless Him in times of joy. Why? Because every challenge is an opportunity. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every obstacle is a chance to develop character, to build resilience, to become unshakable. When you practice gratitude in adversity, you reprogram your brain. You shift from victim to victor. You shift from reactive to proactive. You shift from powerless to powerful. Now, let me give you a practical exercise that will help you master this principle. For the next 30 days, I want you to practice the Nothing Bothers Me challenge. Every time something happens that would normally upset you, frustrate you, or anger you, I want you to pause, take a deep breath, and say out loud, "This doesn't bother me. I am in control. I choose peace." It might feel fake at first. You might not believe it, but do it anyway, because your words create your reality. When you declare that something doesn't bother you, you are taking back your power. You are refusing to let external circumstances control your emotional state. And over time, this becomes automatic. It becomes who you are. I did this exercise myself 20 years ago, and it transformed my life. I used to be reactive, emotional, easily triggered. But I trained myself to act as if nothing bothers me. And now, when someone criticizes me, I smile. When a deal falls through, I stay calm. When someone tries to provoke me, I remain unmoved. Not because I don't care, but because I have mastered my emotions. I have taken back my power. And you can do the same. Let me close with one final teaching from the Torah. In the book of Psalms, King David writes, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the why. The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" This is the ultimate secret to acting as if nothing bothers you. When you root your identity in God, when you understand that your worth, your security, your destiny is in His hands, nothing in this world can shake you. People's opinions don't matter. Setbacks don't matter. Criticism doesn't matter. Because you know who you are, and you know whose you are. So go now, my friends. Go and practice emotional mastery. Go and act as if nothing bothers you. Go and watch as your life transforms, as your confidence grows, as your power multiplies. Because when you master your emotions, you master your life. And when you master your life, you become unstoppable. Shalom, and may you be blessed with the wisdom to remain unshaken in every storm, and the strength to walk through life with unshakable peace. Now, I want to address something that I know many of you are thinking. You're thinking, "Rabbi, this sounds great in theory, but what about when someone really wrongs me? What about when I'm truly treated unfairly? Am I supposed to just let people walk all over me?" This is a crucial question, and I want to be very clear about the answer. Acting as if nothing bothers you is not about being a doormat. It's not about letting people abuse you or take advantage of you. It's about choosing your battles wisely. It's about responding from a place of strength, not reacting from a place of weakness. Let me give you another story from the Torah that illustrates this perfectly. When Moses was leading the Israelites through the desert, his own sister Miriam and his brother Aaron spoke against him. They criticized his leadership. They questioned his authority. They gossiped about his personal life. And the Torah tells us that Moses heard every word. He knew what they were saying. But how did he respond? He didn't defend himself. He didn't argue. He didn't lash out. The Torah says Moses was very humble, more than any man on the face of the earth. He acted as if nothing bothered him, not because he was weak, but because he was strong. He knew who he was. He knew his calling. He didn't need to defend himself because God would defend him. And what happened? God himself intervened. God confronted Miriam and Aaron. God defended Moses. And Moses, in his humility, in his emotional mastery, actually prayed for his sister's healing when she was struck with leprosy as a consequence of her gossip. This is the power of acting as if nothing bothers you. When you don't react, when you remain calm, when you trust in a higher power, the universe has a way of defending you. People see your character, they see your strength, and they respect you for it. But here's the key distinction. There's a difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is emotional, impulsive, uncontrolled. Responding is thoughtful, intentional, strategic. When someone wrongs you, you don't have to react, but you may need to respond. If someone is truly harming you, if someone is violating your boundaries, if someone is threatening your safety or your livelihood, you respond. But you respond from a place of calm, from a place of strength, from a place of wisdom. You don't let your emotions control you. You assess the situation, you consider your options, and you take strategic action. This is what Joseph did when he finally revealed himself to his brothers. He didn't react emotionally, he didn't take revenge, but he did respond. He tested them. He observed their character. He made sure they had changed, and then, from a place of emotional mastery, he chose to forgive and to provide for them. This is the balance. This is the wisdom. Act as if nothing bothers you, but respond when necessary, always from a place of strength. Now, let me give you some practical tools for developing this level of emotional mastery in your daily life. Tool number 1. Create a trigger journal. For the next week, write down every time something bothers you. What was the situation? Who was involved? What emotion did you feel? How did you react? At the end of the week, review your journal. You'll start to see patterns. You'll notice that certain types of situations or certain types of people trigger you consistently. This awareness is the first step to mastery, because once you know your triggers, you can prepare for them. You can practice your response in advance. Tool number 2. Develop a power phrase. This is a phrase you say to yourself whenever you feel triggered. It could be, "This doesn't bother me," or "I am in control," or "I choose peace," or "This too shall pass." Choose a phrase that resonates with you and practice saying it whenever you feel your emotions rising. Over time, this phrase will become an automatic circuit breaker for your emotional reactions. Tool number 3. Practice the 24-hour rule. Whenever something significant happens that upsets you, commit to waiting 24 hours before you respond. Don't send that angry email. Don't make that phone call. Don't post that social media rant. Wait 24 hours. Give yourself time to process, to calm down, to gain perspective. You'll be amazed at how different the situation looks after 24 hours. And your response, when you finally give it, will be so much more effective because it comes from a place of calm rather than emotion. Tool number 4. Surround yourself with emotionally masterful people. You become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're surrounded by people who are constantly reactive, constantly dramatic, constantly emotional, you will become that way too. But if you surround yourself with people who are calm, composed, unshakable, you will absorb that energy. You will learn from their example. You will become more like them. In our tradition, we have a saying, make for yourself a teacher, acquire for yourself a friend, and judge every person favorably. This teaches us the importance of choosing our associations wisely. Find mentors who embody emotional mastery. Build friendships with people who inspire you to be better. And when you encounter people who trigger you, judge them favorably. Give them the benefit of the doubt. And don't let their behavior control your emotional state. Tool number 5. Practice meditation and prayer. This is perhaps the most powerful tool of all. In the Jewish tradition, we pray 3 times a day. Why? Because prayer is not just about asking God for things. Prayer is about centering yourself, about connecting to something bigger than yourself, about reminding yourself of what truly matters. When you start your day with prayer, with meditation, with quiet reflection, you set the tone for the entire day. You program your mind for peace, for calm, for emotional mastery. I personally spend 30 minutes every morning in prayer and meditation. I visualize my day. I see myself moving through challenges with calm. I connect with God. I remind myself of my purpose. And this practice has transformed my life. It has made me unshakable. Now, let me share with you one more story, this time from my own life, that demonstrates the power of this principle. About 10 years ago, I was involved in a major business deal. It was a partnership that had the potential to generate millions of dollars. I had invested months of time, significant resources, and a lot of emotional energy into making this deal happen. And at the last minute, my partner backed out. Not only did he back out, but he took the idea we had developed together and started his own competing business. I was devastated. I was angry. I felt betrayed. I wanted to sue him. I wanted to destroy his reputation. I wanted revenge. And I came very close to reacting in a way that would have damaged me more than it damaged him. But then I remembered the principle I'm teaching you today. I remembered Joseph. I remembered Moses. I remembered the teaching from Proverbs. A fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control. So I paused. I took 24 hours. I prayed. I meditated. I asked myself, is this worth my energy? Will this matter in 5 years? What is the wise response here? And I realized that pursuing revenge, pursuing a lawsuit, pursuing any kind of retaliation would cost me more than it would cost him. It would cost me my peace. It would cost me my focus. It would cost me my time and energy that I could be investing in building something new.